I didn't even expect people to show up today, or at least not right now. All I'm trying to do right now is I'm going to make a little um, flyby of the base right now, just to show, because I want to use that to upload it to YouTube. I'm going to start using my YouTube channel um, to kind of just showcase, my cast and the channel and all that stuff, and for the Twitch feed. Basically, the reason why I'm doing this, guys, is because there was an announcement made that Alpha 6 is going to be released maybe next week or the week thereafter. It's going to be very close. So that means that Alpha 5 and this base is going to be rendered useless. You will no longer be able to play it. You won't be able to log into it because of all the changes they're bringing to the game. This base's days is numbered. Basically, we won't be able to play it anymore. So the idea is that I just want to just kind of go by room, kind of showcasing what we did here. And that way I'll have it forever as our Alpha 5 base. So we will absolutely lose all progress. When Alpha 6 is released, there's a 99, well, I wouldn't say 99, maybe an 80% chance that this current Alpha 5 save, this progress, will not be workable. It won't, because there's too many new additions to the game that will render your old game, your old save, it will render it useless. So that's exactly why I'm quickly doing this flyby on our current base setup before the update happens, because then we'll lose access to this base. So without further ado, I'm just going to start running around the perimeter and kind of showing you guys what it looks like, kind of from a distance, and kind of a little bit of a history on this base. So this is basically our third base. We had two other bases, two other houses really, in the eastern part of the map, which were joined by a very long underground tunnel. But we were quickly overrun, so we kind of fled to the lake here, which has essentially nothing on it. It basically looks like this. It's just blank water, there's nothing. So with that, we built this whole entire structure based on what, we built this whole thing out of absolutely nothing, but yet the water that was just on the surface, and the water is one block deep. So yeah, you just start placing blocks and you just start making your base. So this is the perimeter all around the base, just to keep the unwanted zombies out. That's basically the perimeter here. And as you can see, I'm doing kind of a flyby of all the other little detailed intricacies that are part of the base. Uh-oh, here's my first little enemy. He doesn't respect the fact that I'm doing a flyby and, I'm trying to make this eventually for YouTube. So anyway, yeah, so this is the outer base area. So that was that. So the first thing we started with was this house right here that you see here in the middle. This thing right here. It was nothing more than our first little shack in here. You can see that there's nothing in here. It's really just, it's still the original form. It had a ladder. Early on, when there was no wall around here, this bottom portion of the ladder was gone to prevent zombies from climbing up. But this little house here with this roof was pretty much our only structure that we had to start off with. That was it. And then later we built this little structure with this little tower thing on top, which that really is the essence of just this building here. I mean, we had put a couch here just to kind of look out. Imagine that all of this, the farmland, the corn, all of this was just water. There was nothing here, absolutely nothing. It was just, again, these two houses, that and this thing here. That's all we had. So eventually we just started kind of getting ideas, building this thing up. We made the platform up there kind of as a lookout post. This was it. As far as the eye could see, it was just water, trees, all that. Really wasn't much to look at. So then we started our base. Let me deal with this. I hear a hornet somewhere. I don't see where he is though. Oh, here. There he is. Anyway. So, it went all so fast. I don't know the chronological order exactly in how we built stuff because we were building a lot of different things simultaneously, but I had this idea to make a tower, and I was thinking it would only be like 1 or 2 stories tall. Basically, the idea was to have storage. And so each wall would have 9 chests, 3 by 3. And it would only be, 1 or 2 stories tall. There's no chest here, it got destroyed. I can give you more detail on that later of how it got destroyed and then rebuilt, but this is pretty much the 3rd level, and that was it. There was no more levels to this tower. I kind of got an idea that I wanted to see how far the tower could go up, so I pretty much thought, well, vertically challenged, how tall can we make this thing? So I just started doing level after level, story after story, and it went all the way up to 48 levels tall, and that equates to 192 blocks stacked vertically. Once you get up to the top, you basically have hit the ceiling of the game. You can no longer jump. You can no longer place blocks higher than additional 2 high blocks stacked. So it basically is 194 blocks tall, but there's no purpose of doing that beyond 192 because you can't build much of anything anyway. So that's the history of this tower. It took about, I'd say, a week or more on and off tinkering. It's been a ton of trees, a ton of wood. I can show you all the wood that was gathered. I don't know how many thousands and thousands of wood that was needed to create this. I just know that it was a ton. And most of the wood was harvested in that area along the shore. As you can see, that area is just totally like a desert now. There are no trees left. In fact, there's a big crater there. I forget what happened. Some explosion with dynamite, TNT, I don't know what happened, but all that land is all barren of trees now. Just a void wasteland, basically, because all those trees went into both of these towers and a lot of the other wooden structures around. So yeah, that's kind of the history of the tower. Also on the back side here, a lot of trees gone. Wasteland out there. So yeah, that's kind of the history of this first tower. So in the meantime, as we were creating, as I was done with the tower, more and more of us started playing the game up to a max of like 8 or 9 people in the game. We all had these kind of different ideas on what to bring to the table. Cy Hedgehog, another one of our players here, he started working on this perimeter reinforced concrete barrier for the entire perimeter of the outside, which was nice. I mean, there's been so many changes. As far as the food and harvesting food, to prevent having to go way out there to harvest stuff, we started creating little farmlands. I see that I have to replace these potatoes, but this is a little potato patch done with the potato seeds. Harvest them, create more seeds. You can right-click, eat them. So that's the potato area. We have our blueberries, which we use to make blueberry pie, which is another good food source. It looks like sometimes stags spawn in here, or a zombie occasionally spawns in here, so they trample everything. So I'm going to have to replace all this stuff eventually. Easy to do. We have it in our storage food room here, which I'll be showing you shortly. And then of course we have our corn patch, which oftentimes gets trampled by mostly hornets that do flybys, and when we shoot a hornet, like from a distance, like that, sometimes we take out a corn stalk or two. Again, this looks like it's been ravaged by the occasional hornet. But again, great food source. That's kind of how we prevent having to get out there and get food if we don't want to. So food really is never a problem in the game. So further, let's see, well, the next thing I want to show you is basically the internal workings of the base. So this original structure, one of our guys, Nessus, he came up with a good idea to start using glass, and we kind of use glass in a lot of different areas now, with the old cement look. So we kind of, just destroyed the surrounding areas of the building, replaced it with the old kind of, I think it's called decayed stone. I forget what it was called. But that in combination with the glass panes, I mean, looks really outstanding. And it gives it a very specific, kind of a industrial look, but yet kind of a customized look. It's not very sturdy. You cannot hang doors on this panel. As you can see, if I go, see how thin that glass is? There's no way to hang a door, reinforced metal door, wooden door, nothing. So obviously hornets, zombies can fly in here, walk in here, but it's just for the aesthetics, because it looks amazing. It looks really good. And so anyway, so inside here is our food room. A bunch of refrigerators. We keep our berries and seeds in here, which, oh, it looks like I could create some more seeds. Let me do that quick, because we'll need to plant some more of these seeds later when I'm ready to replant all the seeds. So yeah, this has a lot of different kind of stuff in here, corn, seeds. So anyway, the food room. The floor dubs also is the ceiling for the room below it, which is our kitchen kind of food room area where we cook stuff, supposedly. So it's glass, you can see through it. I'll come down to this room here, which, yeah, has the cooking pot, the fire. I think originally the idea was to place like a stove and stuff, but I don't think we could figure out how to do that. I don't know if those stoves yet are movable in the survival mode. I haven't tried it. I can't remember trying it out, but anyway, so the floor again dubs as the ceiling for the room underneath. The floor above us dubs as the ceiling, and the floor looking below. So it gives it a really neat effect. Glass is just a very fun item to use to make a very customized look for your structure. And yeah, so it was really a great idea, used with the log cabin kind of look, the rustic, old, broken down log cabin look. Looks good. I like it. Furthermore, I used more of the decayed stone as well. So on